The United Nations Security Council adopted on Tuesday a resolution to enforce an arms embargo in Libya. It's hoped the move will prevent weapons from reaching terrorist groups operating in the country. CCTV's Clementine Logan has more.
Arms smuggling continues to destabilize Libya. The United Nations Security Council has voted unanimously to enforce an embargo. Libya's government will only be able to import arms with approval from the Council's Sanctions Committee.
This resolution allows in an effective manner in the high seas along the Libyan coast for inspections to take place. Inspections of vessels suspected in engaging in arms trafficking. This is a true headway in the implementation of the arms embargo in Libya.
Last week, UN envoy to Libya Martin Kobler again raised concerns over illicit weapons. It's estimated that millions of guns, arms and ammunition have fallen into the hands of militias. The threat of ISIL is a major concern. Forces loyal to the UN-backed unity government have been battling the militants in the city of Sirte. The coastal city is 450 kilometers east of the capital Tripoli and has been under ISIL control for over a year now. It's hoped the expanded EU naval operation will also see boats operated by human traffickers seized and destroyed. Tens of thousands of migrants and refugees have crossed the Mediterranean, many of them drowning at sea. Clementine Logan, CCTV.
Let's get you more now on that story. I'm joined live from Cairo by CCTV's Yasser Hakim. Yasser, what's been the response by the Egyptian government to this new crackdown on arms smuggling in the Mediterranean?
Well, the government this time did not comment on the resolution, though it has previously, when it was first announced or first adopted to be discussed, it was welcoming the resolution. But the former foreign minister, Mohammed al-Arabi, who's currently the head of the Foreign Affairs Committee at the Assembly, at the Egyptian Assembly, he says that this is a resolution that has come very late. Egypt has been calling on such efforts years ago, and he welcomed it, but said it should have taken place at least 2-3 years ago. There is also in Egypt an exception whereby Egypt hopes that arms to the Libyan government and the Libyan army would be allowed access to through the sea and would be exempted from any operations by the EU or any embargo. The Libyan army needs weapons to continue its crackdown on militants and on ISIL in Libya. So Egypt is welcoming such a move.
And so to what extent, Yasser, will Egypt be helping with this crackdown?
Well, in the last couple of weeks, Egyptian naval forces announced that they have been helping out in the not in the arms smuggling, but in the migration issue. They have intercepted several boats with illegal migrants. One was coming from Alexandria to Greece, and another was going to Italy, also from the Mediterranean coast in Egypt, and also it has helped in rescue operations for a couple of boats that have also been capsized in the Mediterranean Sea. So there is efforts on this side. Now, in efforts to stop arms smuggling and working with Operation Sophia, the EU operation in the Mediterranean, Egypt has not announced that it will work with the EU. Although previously it said that it is ready to work with any international coalition to stop funding military weapons or militant infiltration against terrorism in any capacity. So Egypt has announced before that it is ready to work with any international efforts to curb terrorism. So if there is an approach by the EU, I don't think Egypt would reject such an approach.
Right, but there have been human rights concerns, Yasser. Tell us about that.
This is another issue that in a way, has been causing some friction on fighting terrorism and also at the same time bearing in the consequence of any human rights violations in the way arrests would take place, in a way to control the movement of persons, of people, and the freedom of movement for people. This is a thorny issue. Egypt has what it calls a terrorism law, or anti-terrorism law, and emergency law in place for the last 4 or 5 years, and has been every year been renewed. And this being causing a lot of friction in the society and a lot of diversity within the politicians. But at this point, what the majority are saying, fighting terrorism is a priority, and sometimes it would take the place of human rights in some issues, but there is a red line that should not be approached when fighting terrorism, and when not to violate human rights in this regard.
Yeah, it's quite a delicate balance. Yasser Hakim, thanks very much for joining us.